Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.
the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is Memphis Grizzlies guard Nick Calathes. The Memphis Grizzlies are one of many NBA teams that rely heavily on numbers and data to make plenty of their basketball decisions. It's actually something they call analytics. The data is used to determine everything from matchup advantages to who should be drafted. And speaking of numbers, since the All-Star break, guard Nick Calathes ranks third in the NBA with 2.6 steals per game. Calathes has accomplished this despite playing only 14.5 minutes per game. And of the top 7 players in steals per contest since the All-Star break, all besides Calathes are playing at least 31 minutes per contest. With that type of defensive production, head coach Dave Joerger is not afraid to use his second-year point guard in key situations. And knowing he is firmly a part of the team's rotation, Calathes is playing with added confidence. Today, the former Florida standout joins me to talk about his role with the Grizzlies and the team's chances of going all the way. He also reflects back on his 20-game NBA suspension and how he hopes to play the rest of his pro career in the NBA despite overtures to return to Greece, where he holds a dual citizenship with the United States. Nick Calathes is next on Sports Files. Nick, great to see you again. Thanks so much for your time.
It's good to see you, my man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Let's talk about the start to the post-All-Star game portion of the schedule. A little slow. I know you've won some ball games, but I know Coach Joerger not exactly pleased with the way you guys have played. Why the slow start out of the gate to start the second half?
I think, obviously coming back from such a long break, we had, I think, 6-7 days off. And it's tough to get back into a little rhythm. And I think it's going to take a couple of games to get back. But I thought, we're getting it back, I think, the last two games, and we're getting better.
It's a daunting second half schedule, and I say second half, but the bulk of your games were played before the All-Star game, the post-All-Star game portion. A lot of back-to-backs. You opened up with, 5 games in
7 nights.
7
8
nights,
yeah.
And all different cities, just one in Memphis on your home court. So that's tough, isn't it, on an athlete to have to travel that much and to play in different arenas?
Oh, for sure. It's definitely tough, and obviously a lot of traveling, like you said, and then like before, coming back from an All-Star break where, you really didn't do much to keep up the rhythm that we had before the All-Star break, and we got to get it back. I think the past couple practices have been really good, and I feel like we're catching up and catching a little rhythm again. What
do you think overall about this team? You had a tremendous pre-All-Star game portion of your schedule. You guys certainly had one of the better records in all of the NBA, third best, second best in the West. With what you see out there, Nick, how good are you guys and how good can you be when it comes to the postseason?
I think we could be great. I think, obviously sky's the limit. I think we still haven't shown what we can do, all of us, when we're rolling. And I feel like if we get to that point, I feel like no team in the NBA can beat us. And, we have a great chemistry with one another on and off the court.
Your game has really risen a level, especially late, with the way you're playing defense. Have you always prided yourself in playing good defense?
I think I started when I went overseas. I thought that's when I really started to focus on defense, and I think it just picked up from there. I think in high school and college, I thought I could have probably played better defense and focused it more on the defensive end, but I feel like I started really playing when I got to Europe.
It's a fine line between playing really good defense and gambling too much. Yes. You're obviously very effective in steals and turning teams over. And again, it's a team with Tony Allen and Mike Conley, yourself, others that like to gamble, but gamble when it's a high percentage for you guys to get the steal. Talk about that, the the philosophy of trying to turn the other team over?
Like you said, gambling without a purpose is you can't do that, because you're putting your teammates in a bad situation to have your back. And I think you know, if you go for a steal, I feel like, you know, you dang near should have it.
Right.
But I feel like if you're pushing the tempo and you're making teams, you know, take bad shots and really pressuring the teams, I think then you can really put the up tempo on their part and then turn them over. And I feel like that's what we're good at. I feel like, you know, obviously Mike Conley and Tony, they can really make guys, you know, I guess overreact and push them to a point where they don't want to be pushed.
Have you learned a lot from those guys?
Oh yeah, watching them for the past year and a half, I think I've really learned a lot. You know, how they use their angles, how they use their length. Well, obviously not Mike, but Mike's
Right.
speed and how
Sure.
he uses speed and really frustrates their opponent.
You're in the rotation now. You're getting your minutes. Earlier in the season, obviously you weren't. We'll talk about that more in a second. But knowing that you're going to get minutes seemingly every game, a lot different feeling than when you weren't sure when you were going to come into the game, right?
It's a lot different. Knowing that you're going to be on the court and you know, you're going to get time. I feel like it's not so inconsistent. You know, being out and not know when you're going to play, it's you know, a roller coaster. You don't know when you're going to be out there, and then you don't know. It's tough to catch a rhythm. And I feel like now that I've been playing, and hopefully I keep playing, I feel like I've gotten a rhythm, and I'm more consistent.
What has Coach Yeager said to you about how he's trying to utilize you?
Just, you know, bring energy, make the teammates better around you. You know, things like that. For the second unit, I feel like we really come in and bring up a defensive presence that not many second units can handle. And I think that's what's the best part about us.
How tough was it for you to start the season on the suspended list? Obviously, you had the summer to think about everything that went down, and then to just get back into a rhythm with this team.
It's obviously tough sitting out watching these guys play. Obviously, they did well without me, but just being in practices and the locker room, making sure they see me there, making sure they know that I'm all about the team, and then just you know, get into a rhythm. Like I said before, it's obviously tough, you know, sitting out the first 13 games and not playing, and then not playing probably for the first 30 games. It was difficult, but I always made myself ready, worked out in the gym hard, and when my time came, I wanted to take the opportunity and get it. There's
no question that talent wins a lot of championships, but that talent has to be all on the same page. This is a team that has a lot of talented players, maybe doesn't get the accolades that some of the other teams do around the league, but the chemistry is incredible. Is it as good as what we think it is behind closed doors? Are you guys all that close?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we all go out to eat after the games. We'll go out to eat on the road when we land. I feel like, you know, this team has probably been the closest team I've been around. You know, we can tell each other stuff that, you know, what we think will get them better, and they'll listen. And then, obviously, you know, joking around and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Things we can't talk about probably on the air here.
For
right?
sure, but when it's time to get serious and when it's time to have each other's backs, you know, we'll be there for each other.
And you have that veteran leadership, the guys that have been together for a long time with Z-Bo, with Mark, with Tony, and with Mike. You have that core unit that leads this team.
Yes, we've had those four guys. You know, I've been through a lot, and you know, they can obviously help. You know, guys like me, guys like, you know, Jordan Adams. Things that guys that haven't been there and you know, can teach us a lot.
Nick, we know how good this team is defensively, and we've seen the improvement over the last couple of years offensively. But I'll just ask you straight out. You know what's out there in the West. This is going to be a battle in the postseason from round one all the way through. Do the Grizzlies have enough shooting to win it all?
I believe so. I believe we really do. You know, got guys like Courtney Lee, guys like, you know, Jeff Green, Mike Conley, Vince Carter. I think if you take Mike off the ball, I think it brings a whole nother game for us. You know, having another shooter out there, and I think we can. Obviously, you know, you got to make shots in the playoffs, you know, and it's a more slow down game, which I think it benefits us. It benefits our style. And I think, obviously, like you said, it's going to be a lot of battles every round, every game, and I think we're looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk about the other part of your career, and that was, of course, playing overseas, playing in Greece, playing a year in Russia, being a part of the Greek national team. You decided right out of Florida, and you're one of the most heralded players coming out of college that year, that you were going to go play overseas. Give me the reasons why, even though you were a second-round pick, no guarantees, but you were drafted. So what was your thought process?
You know, my brother played over there for 2 years before I did in Greece, and you know, I talked to him a lot. I played on the national team the 2 years before I left Florida, and you know, they made a very big offer, and it was tough to turn down. It was tough to, you know, didn't know if I was going to be late first or early second round,
right?
And you know, I didn't have any guaranteed money on the table, and I thought, you know, I thought the team in Panathinaikos, which is in Greece, they just won the EuroLeague title, and they're the best team over there. So I thought I could really learn a lot if I played over there. And you know, so I went, I took that chance, and I thought I don't regret it at all. I thought it made me a better player. I thought I got to experience things that not many basketball players experience, to traveling to different countries, seeing the world, and you know, I'm back here, and hopefully I can make the best of it here, and that's how it went.
Well, you have dual citizenship in Greece. You not only played there, but were very successful. So you're right, you bettered your game. You certainly made a name for yourself.
Yes.
But I think it's probably every basketball player's dream to one day play in the association. So, so you get the chance. Obviously, the Grizzlies got your rights from Dallas.
Yep.
You play, but then there was talk off-season this past summer that you wanted to go back, and I'm sure that the money is more lucrative.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies said they want to keep you. So was there any animosity there? Once they said, listen, we're keeping you, was it, okay, I'm good, I'm set, I'm ready to go, let's move forward with the Grizzlies?
Yeah, I was 100% on board. Once they said that, they want me, that they see a role for me to play here, you know, I was 100% into being here, playing for this team, and helping them. And obviously, and I know what their goals are, and I know obviously we're a very good team, and I'm glad that obviously I got the chance to do this, and hopefully I can do it for many more years. You know, I love playing for these guys.
Were you not sure if your role was defined at first, and that's why you didn't know if you had the future? Is that's why you hesitated?
You know, there's a lot of things. The suspension, obviously. You know, I didn't know what they thought. You know, it was a whole bunch of things, and I think it was just to be honest, a big misunderstanding. And obviously, once we worked it out, and once, you know, I really talked to the people upstairs, I think everything was put to its place, and we moved on from right there.
Was there much negative feedback from fans or anybody, fellow basketball players? Did they send you texts or emails? And
no, there was never any negative feedback. Obviously, I think everyone was supportive. Obviously, it was a very dumb situation what happened with the suspension. You know, I can't really talk about it, but you know,
it's behind you.
Yeah, it's behind me, and I'm glad I can help this team right now.
Do you see one day down the road, maybe many years from now, that you play again in Greece or play in Europe?
To be honest, I hope I stay here. My goal
finish your career in the NBA?
My goal is to finish my career in NBA. Obviously, the NBA is the best league there is, first class. You know, playing for these fans, playing for, you know, against the toughest competition in the world, and I'm glad I'm here. And my focus right now is to play here.
I know they're glad to have you. What part of the game do you need to improve upon the most?
I think right now my shooting. I think my shooting is the big thing. Make sure I can knock down the three. Obviously, in Europe it's a different line, NBA, in the three-point line. So, you know, I had to get used to it. But I feel like I'm working really hard at it, and I'll get it. I mean, once I, you know, start knocking them down, I'll be fine.
In high school, you played with Chandler Parsons, who you would go on and play with at Florida, right?
Florida, yes, sir.
And you guys were 31-3 at Lake Cal, won a state championship. How good was that team?
Unbelievable. We had me, Chandler, we had a kid named Joey Rodriguez who was the starting point guard for VCU when they went to the Final Four. So we had a very strong team, and we went to the state championship 3 years before that and never won it. So our senior year, we made sure we won it, and we won by I think 47 points. It was a made sure we didn't want to be the Buffalo Bills or that kind of thing. So we made sure that we took it.
You took that success in high school to college, and it seemed like a natural for Florida, and it was for Billy Donovan. What was it like to play for Billy the Kid? They won 2 national championships, not while you were there, but in recent years. Yeah. What was it like at Florida under Billy Donovan?
It was great. He's, I feel like a player's coach. He knows the game, has played professionally, played in the NBA, has one of the toughest work ethics I've seen as a coach. He's always in the gym, and it was great playing for him. And I'm glad I stayed home and played for him, and it was a great opportunity for me.
Do you stay in touch with him?
I do. I talk to him, as much as not as much as I want to, but I talk to him as much as I can. After he got the 500th win this past week, I texted him and told him congratulations and things like that.
When you talk to a former coach, is it more about how they're doing, they ask how you're doing, away from the game, or is there something technical you'll ask about the game itself?
I think it's more of how you doing, coach, how's the team looking, things like that. I think he's focused on his season, and I'm focused on my season. Obviously, he probably can't watch many Memphis Grizzlies games as same as I can't watch as many Florida games. So it's how you doing, and obviously hope everything's going well, family, things like that.
How fluent are you in speaking Greek?
I feel like I can understand it if people talk to me. Me talking back, it's difficult. I still got to learn a little bit more. But if people are speaking to me, I can get a sense of what they're talking about.
So if I ask you and put you on the spot to say the Memphis Grizzlies have a great shot to take it all the way, can you say it in Greece?
No,
in Greek?
That's why I have to go talk to Costa Koufis and tell him to translate.
So Costa does that, huh?
Costa's fluent.
EuroLeague championship in 2011. What was that like? I mean, I know you haven't been a part of an NBA champion team. Hopefully that'll happen. But was it as crazy as you would imagine the NBA championship is like?
It was wild. It was definitely. I think it's up there. Obviously, it's probably not the most prestigious. Right. The NBA is, but over there in Europe, it's the biggest accomplishment, and you got a sellout crowd of 17,000, 18,000 people going crazy, and it was definitely one of the best moments of my basketball career probably so far. To hold the trophy up and to me be a big part of it, and I'm glad obviously we could win it.
Nick, you're off the hot seat, but we're not done the interview yet. We like to end all our interviews with something we call 5 for the road. So it's 5 questions, first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right, favorite professional team, sports team. You can't say the Grizzlies.
Denver Broncos.
Why?
Peyton Manning.
Okay. Favorite pro athlete? Would it be Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning.
How about if it was an NBA player, all-time NBA player?
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams.
White chocolate, Jason Williams.
Grizzlies, Jason Williams.
There you go.
Okay. Favorite music, musician, group, genre of music? What do you like to listen to?
I'm both. I'm kind of like a country rap kind of guy. So, let's say Blake Shelton maybe for country, and then let's go for rap. Let's go Lil Wayne. Okay, so you're country and rap. Not a new genre called country rap. That would be. I listen to whatever.
Maybe you can start that. Do you like to listen before a game?
I don't. I'm not really that big of a music guy, to be honest. So I'll turn on the radio, but I won't. I don't have my earphones in.
Yeah, it seems like athletes are always doing that.
All
right. Sure. Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Wow. Man, funniest. I really like The Wedding Crashers.
With Vince Vaughn?
Yep. I like Braveheart. I like. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, it's tough to pick.
All right, and we'll end it with your favorite TV show. What are you watching now?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You still go reruns of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I mean, that's my favorite TV show of all time. I guess right now I watch Scandal. I'm a big fan of Scandal.
Well, Nick, thanks again for all your time. I appreciate it. I know you guys are really busy. Thanks for carving out some time to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. That's Nick Kalathis. We'll take a quick break, and Overtime is coming up next. Undoubtedly, you have heard the expression, a long time in the making, as well as good things come to those who wait. Well, there's no question each of these expressions is apropos when describing the Bass Pro Shop pyramid. Yes, years after the idea first surfaced, and through many construction delays, the enormous Bass Pro Shop pyramid is set to open in Memphis on May 1st. The former Tomb of Doom was built in 1991 and was home to the Memphis Tigers and Memphis Grizzlies until the opening of FedEx Forum. The Memphis Pyramid ranks as the 6th largest pyramid in the entire world. Now, besides the economic boost that the arrival of the Bass Pro Shop will mean for the city of Memphis, it will also give residents and visitors alike another great entertainment option. There is absolutely something for everyone. Legendary fisherman and former Sports Files guest Bill Dance takes us on a tour of the facility.
Stand by for picture.
Roll sound.
Rolling. Quiet, please.
Sound speed marker. Action.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Memphis Pyramid. Hey, you're not going to believe everything. Come on, come on. I've got so many things to show you. You're just not going to believe everything going on here. When you first enter the pyramid, you're going to be absolutely amazed at just how big it is. When finished, it'll be one of the largest retail stores in the entire world, larger at its base than a full city block. Here we are in the swamp where we'll have 600,000 gallons of water with 1,800 fish with 36 different species. And I'm so proud of this store. I am so proud of it, especially because it's here in my hometown. It's one of the world's largest retail stores. Look at the size of some of these cypress trees. And this area is full of them. Okay, in this part of the aquarium, we've got something really unique. We're gonna have boats floating. Right here, I would be totally underwater. Isn't that unique? You bet it is. All right, let's go up to the next level. Did you do all that?
I did.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Keep it up. I gotta go.
All right.
See ya. Hey, we've got another great feature right here, 4,500 square feet designated for Ducks Unlimited. This is a home of Ducks Unlimited right here in Memphis. Everything that comes down the Mississippi Flyway is going to be found right here. The Bass Pro Pyramid will also house the new Big Cypress Lodge, an amazing collection of over 100 unique accommodations, including duck lodges, treehouse suites, and rooms complete with screened-in porches and incredible views. Hey, and check this out. Got a 2,600 square foot governor suite, and wait till you see the view. How about that? Hey, this is a fishbowl restaurant, 1,900 square feet. Hey, right here they're gonna have a gigantic aquarium with freshwater fish in it. Hey, I even put one of my big catfish in there. Hey, this is just one of the big catfish I caught out of the Mississippi River. They're gonna put it on the wall here, along with a lot of these other big catfish. All these trophies I caught. Hey, I got a lot of things to show you, come on. Whew, I'm out of breath. So much going on here, wow. Come on, keep up, let's go. I feel like I'm swimming underwater. This is the backdrop of the bowling alley. Look at all these underwater mounts. Hey, the Uncle Buck's Fish Bowl will feature 13 lanes of bowling in an underwater setting. Hey, you got to see it to believe it. When finished, each lane will be complete with special ball returns like this one. Will this dry in time for the opening?
This will be dry just in time, yes, sir.
Oh, it will? Look on my finger. I'm telling you what, this place is going to be absolutely amazing. Let me show you something else that's quite remarkable. We've got the world's largest freestanding elevator that's 25 stories tall, open on all four sides. It's over 323 feet tall. You sit and look, you can really appreciate just how big this pyramid is. Well, welcome to the top of the pyramid. As you can see, you've got an observation deck here facing due west, and we've got one here facing due south. But what we've got right here, this whole area where this steel construction is, that's going to be glass. So when you walk out on it, you're looking straight down. Scary? Nah. Hey, we got a live archery range, we got a live pistol range. Hey, we've got a clothing department. Hey, we've got so much stuff to show you. Hey, we've got a fishing department, we've got a hunting department, we've got 26,410,000 cubic feet of enclosed volume. Woo! Are you coming? Come on. We've got a boating department. Oh, the marine department. I hadn't even told you about the marine department. Hey, something else. We're going to have the largest waterfowl department in the world with custom-made duck calling center.
Thanks a lot, Bill, and I can't wait to see the finished product. The Memphis Tigers Hoop Squad will play their final regular season game Sunday in Cincinnati. Then they're going to head to Connecticut next week for the American Conference Tournament in Hartford. They will not have the services of Austin Nichols. The Tigers football team has opened up spring football camp. One of the major stories going into next season is how head coach Justin Fuente will replace 8 defensive starters. The annual spring game is scheduled for April 10th. And finally, congratulations to former Tigers linebacker Charles Harris, who earlier this week was named the 2014 American Athletic Conference Football Scholar Athlete of the Year. Harris started all 13 games for the Tigers and finished second in tackles. In the classroom, he compiled a 3.64 GPA. And that'll do it for now. Once again, Sports Files will come your way next week on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.